You were born on April 29th, 1988 in Sacramento, California at Mercy Hospital on J Street. I'd been in labor for a few days, and finally my water bag broke around 2 a.m. We went to the hospital. I was in labor for all day. It was a long push. We had to push you out, and it took over an hour to push you out. When you finally came out, you had decided to take my uterus with you. That you didn't want to leave. It was comfortable in there. You're not good with change. Your grandfather, my dad, was Juan Jauregui. He was born in Totitlan. And I don't know how old he was when he came here, but he came as a bracero. Your grandma, my mom, is Victoria Ocampo. Oh my gosh. And she was born in Buena Vista de Cuellar, Guerrero. She came to the United States when she was 15 with her first husband. Yeah. So anyways, they worked in the fields. They picked peaches and almonds and all kinds of stuff. They lived in a migrant camp. And then your dad's dad is Felix Ramirez, and he was born in Totitlan, Jalisco. And your grandmother, your dad's mom, was Rosario Ramirez, and she was Rosario Reynoso, and she was also born in Totitlan. And they came, Appa came first, Appa Felix came first, and also worked here like as a bracero like Appa did. I have 11 siblings. Victoria has 3 kids, me and my 2 sisters. And then Appa had 10 kids, 9 and myself. Your Appa Felix and your Ama Rosario had 6 kids. After she died, Appa remarried, and he got 3 other kids. So total of 9. Your dad has 9 siblings? 8 siblings? Your dad and I had 6 kids. We have you're the oldest, and then there's Adam, 23, and then Child's 21. Cassandra's 19 now. And then we have the babies. Little Ricky's gonna be 15 next week, and then Seba's just turned 13. So we decided we're gonna get married on Dad's birthday, but his birthday was on a Sunday, so we got married the day before his birthday because, you know, it had to be all about Dad. And we just had a real little wedding. We planned it all ourselves. We got married at the Guadalupe Church, and then we had the reception at my Nina's house in her backyard. When you were about 2 years old, you decided that you were in love with Batman. I made you a Batman costume for Halloween, and you wore it for like a year, every day. You'd run around in circles, and you sing the Batman song from the TV show. You always played with superhero men. You never liked cars. You never played with trucks unless they were to move your superheroes somewhere. And then you started boxing. Oh my God, you were boxing since you were like 2 years old, 3 years old. In the front yard, at birthday parties with your cousins. You were little. You know, we'd watch boxing. Every boxing match that came on, we'd watch it. You'd watch it. You'd pretend to box. You were 5, yes. There was nothing for you to join at that age. But there was kickboxing, which your dad thought kickboxing was horrible, but it was boxing, and they had a boxing ring, and they matched you up with other kids. So at 5, you started boxing at the gym. I think it was Navroni's kickboxing gym. And it was way out in the boonies. I had to take you way out there. But you'd go a few times a week, and you started boxing kids that were like 8. And of course you beat them up. And you did that for a couple years. And then Dad, I think that's when Dad built the ring. And you guys boxed back there. You also did ballet folklorico with Adam and Chayo. You guys were so cute. You were very good at it too. But as soon as you got old enough to tell me better, you decided you didn't want to do it anymore. We lived in apartments on Franklin Boulevard when you were bored, but we were already in the process of buying a house. Dad wanted to live by Apa, and Apa lived on Detroit in the ghetto. So we bought the house next door to him. You were 6 weeks old when we moved. And you've lived there your whole life until you moved out and bought your own house. Next door to your mother on Detroit Boulevard. Instead of going somewhere nice, which you could have done, you decided to stay in the ghetto. I don't know why. Maybe it's for dinner. I don't know. We live in the ghetto. We live in a bad area with bad schools in our neighborhood. So you had to go to a school in a better neighborhood that was higher academic standards. And you did well there. They had young authors. You won a young author award. After elementary school at Camellia, where you did really well, you went to Sutter. Also not our school in the ghetto. You went to all the dances. You're very not social, but yet social. I don't know how to explain that. High school. Again, you didn't go to your neighborhood school because it was Burbank. So you went to McClatchy. You didn't play sports because the team was a losing team and you didn't want to play for a losing team. Was it right before high school?
The summer before I entered high school, yes.
Wow. Yeah, the summer before you entered high school, your dad and I decided to get a divorce. You didn't seem to take it bad. You didn't seem to be surprised. You didn't seem to be upset. You were just like, whatever. I'm sure you didn't tell me how you really felt, but that's how you acted. Right? How did you feel, Alex?
It's horrible.
Did you?
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. You didn't act like it was horrible.
How was I supposed to act?
I don't know. Angry, mad, yell, scream, tell me I hate it. You didn't. You didn't say any of that. You just went on with your life. Again, very private. Very like, I'm fine with it. After high school, you didn't want to go to college. But I said you had to go to college. So you took like a stupid class. You took boxing. And I don't know. What else did you take? You've always been the same. You're just very to yourself and you don't like people. You don't have a patience for people. And you never really have. You've always been into your own thing, doing your own thing. You know, you've always been really smart, but you don't share things with anybody. You're just a private person. You were always like that, even when you were little. You know, Alex's way is the right way. And I liked when you danced. You were a good dancer. You didn't want to dance. You didn't want to do it, but you were good at it because whatever you do well at, whether you like it or not. That's just you. Anyways, you've always worked. You had 2 jobs sometimes. And you paid for college all by your lonesome. Since you were little, you worked with Apa making carnitas.
Was I born on J Street?
Yeah, you were.
Where's Sac
Mercy? Sac State's on. I've never been to Sac State. It's over there off the freeway.
It's on J Street.
It's on J Street? So you're still on the same street you were born at. Alex, quit looking at me like that. Making those
How do you not realize things like that? I was born on J Street and I'm still on J Street.
I'm not an artistic person that makes the world all beautiful and stuff. I'm just like, one day at a time, Alex. You're 25 years old now. You're old, Alex. You're a grown man. Anyways, you're all grown up. There's nothing else we could do. We can't. You're molded. You're done. But you're the same person you were when you were 4. You grew up in the ghetto. You're not in gangs. You don't do drugs, I don't think. Alex. You haven't got anybody pregnant. You have talent. You're an artist. That's your life.